Hey, I'm Muddy. This is Moments with Muddy, a space for healing, soft living, and showing up whole. I'm glad that you're here. If you're anything like me, I've struggled my entire life being the sole person that a lot of people lean on. And people lean on me for such small things that I used to actually think that people's brains shut off when they come around me because it would be something really minute and it's just like, oh yeah, Muddy would just do it. So growing up, I really never really saw an issue with this because I think my love language is showing up for people, helping people, being there for people. Like it makes me feel really good to help people, especially when you have an idea, you have something you want to do, something that you want to, you know, you want something to come to fruition. And like if God helps that I have a certain experience or a certain skill set that I could add on, I love that. So I never really used to complain about like showing up for a lot of people or being there for a lot of people. But when I really thought about it, the only time that I would complain is when I'm not able to juggle everything. So I would get upset, like, why couldn't I show up for this person and show up for that person and show up for that person and show up for myself? Like I tend to be a little hard on myself with my expectations, and I get mad at myself. Like, why wasn't I able to do this? I don't think that's cool. And the interesting thing about the way I show up for people is that if you needed me to do something for you, I would probably add like more stuff to it. Or if you didn't even express, for me, it was so easy. You don't even have to tell me you need me. All you have to do is be like, damn, I'm really struggling with this. And I'm already like calculating solutions. Like, how am I going to show up for you? How am I going to help you? I'll do this for you. I would always offer myself and offer myself and offer myself. Even if you ask me for $1, I want to give you 100. I don't know why I do that, but I actually look at it as like a resource thing. Like if I have the resource to do it, I'll just do to the best of my ability. I don't really look at it being reciprocated. That's something that I've never paid attention to. Like, let's say we are in a type of relationship where we do give and take. I don't measure like what you did compared to what I did. I really don't care. I just want to make sure that when I do for you, I do the best to my capacity. And whatever you do for me, I don't think about capacity, but if I did, I would just say like that's your best capacity too. Over time though, this did not serve me. Over time, I realized that I have a lot going on. Obviously, when you're younger, you don't have kids, you're not married, like you can do anything, jump over hoops for anybody. But as I started to get older, and I get sick sometimes, I have kids, I have a husband, I have a home to take care of, I have a business to run, like I have things I have to do, and my capacity diminishes. But unfortunately, there's people around me who are not aware of that because I don't make them aware of that. I don't make anything I have going on seem more important than what they need from me. That was like putting the mirror to me and really realizing how there's people who expect things from me, but it's because I'm so open in my energy that it's like I let everybody in. And the more people come in and the more people lean on me, my needs get pushed further and further and further down until I reach my breaking point. There was a day that there was a particular person who was in my home and I was alone with my two kids and that person. And I started to feel really sick, visibly sick. I was shivering, I was sweating. I had like flu like symptoms. I was feeling crazy. And I was postpartum, like a few months postpartum too. So this person had an opportunity to notice that and actually help me with my kids. Instead, they wanted me to take them somewhere that they had no obligation to go, but somewhere they wanted to go. And they stood over me while I was visibly sick and say, "When are you going to be ready to take me?" And I'm looking. I didn't have the words to respond to this person because I know I am someone who's very aware of the people around me, and I do test people's temperature to see how they feel and if they may need me or not. And I feel like in my brain it didn't take a lot to see that I was not trying to, first of all, pack my kids and then drive this person to wherever they needed to go. So I crashed out. Like first I didn't say anything, And then I crashed out, and I'm like, okay, you're going to have to find somebody else, because I'm not a robot and I'm not a machine and I'm not a donkey. Like, you're going to have to find somebody else. It's not always going to be me who's going to show up. There's options that that person had, of people who don't have kids, people who are just sitting, not doing anything, that they can call up and they can do those things for them. But I was the sole person. I was the one who always showed up. This was the exact circumstance that told me that enough is enough. This is when it became crucial for me to start setting my boundaries. Like, it's okay for people to lean on you, but when people lean on you to a point that they don't even realize how you are in a physical, visible sense. Like, forget me having a lot going on and it's all in my head and I'm not telling you what I got going on, but you see me struggling, and that didn't matter to you. And unfortunately for me, a lot of the people that I'm surrounded by don't really consider what I got going on. I'm not going to put all the blame on myself, but part of it is my fault, because I am overly selfless. And I don't mean this in a cute, like, passive complimenting myself kind of way. Like, I'm overly selfless, and that's actually not a good thing. So I had to take this concept and I had to break it down, right? Like, first, sometimes I do get mad at myself that I can't do it all. But two things can be true. It can be true that it's unfortunate that I can't show up in the way that I'm used to or the way that I wish I could. But it's also okay to acknowledge that it's okay that I can't show up. You know, like, I wish I could do it all. I can't do it all, and that's fine. You know, that piece of telling yourself that it's okay is usually the missing piece for a lot of us. I think because a lot of us grew up believing that our worth is tied into being of service to people. Like, we are worthy of love, care, attention because we are caretakers, because we always show up for people, because we're selfless, because, oh, no matter what she got going on, she's always going to be there for me. Our worth is tied into that. And that may be easy for some people, but it's also okay for you to be honest with yourself and look at the capacity you are. Look at the resources, the time, the energy, the strength, the health, the mental clarity that you add. You may not be able to show up, but the missing piece is knowing that it's okay. It's fine. You don't have to push yourself to lengths that don't serve you either. Show up for people, do for people. But if it's hard for you to do, that might be a short-term thing. That might not be a lifelong issue. That just might be in this season of my life, or in this particular moment, or at this particular day and time, I can't do it. That's okay. They'll find somebody else to do it. The next thing was this idea of no one shows up for me the way I show up for them. There's a little caveat there, because a lot of people, like I said earlier, are so overly selfless that they don't understand why people are not overly selfless to them. And they might even, there's people who even frown upon people who are not selfless or overly selfless. But I have a different perspective on that. It's two things. No one can be you. Only you can be you. So if you have the time, the resources, the energy, and the strength to be selfless to people, everybody don't have that. Not everybody has the resources, the mental capacity, or the desire to be the one that everybody leans on, and or be the person that is so quick to jump to be of service. Some people just are not able to do that. Everybody's not you, and that's okay. And on the other side of it, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but I actually don't want the people around me to be as overly selfless as I can be. I envy the people who have balance. I envy the people who have boundaries. I envy the people who, like, there's nothing in the face of this earth that's going to come over the specific set of priorities that they have on their list. It's like, I'll show up for you when I'm done with this. I envy those people so much, and I try to emulate that energy every day. When I know that I have to show up for certain people who may expect me to do certain tasks for them or take them certain places or whatever, I stop and I say, okay, what is it I need right now? And then which one of those things do I need to address? Or do I need to address all of them before I can show up? That's something that I'm learning. It's still a little hard for me. And like I said, I envy the people who are able to do that. And I, when I think about, oh, like I'm always showing up for people and I wish I had certain people do that for me too. Yeah, but with boundaries or with balance. Like when you think about it in that sense, you have to really realize, like, it's not our fault that, people cross our boundaries and don't respect us, but we are responsible for our boundaries. Like, we are responsible for enforcing them. We are responsible for prioritizing ourselves. It's nobody else's job to prioritize you. It's nobody else's responsibility technically to put yourself first. You have to put yourself first, you know? And I think that concept of nobody pours into me the way I pour into them, when you really look at it in those ways, are like, nobody's like me. And that's cool. People got things going on that I don't know about, or I might even know about it. And they may not be able to show up for me the way I need to right now, or the way that I need them to in general. But on the opposite side of it, the lack of balance that I have and the lack of boundaries I have is not something that I want my loved one or anybody to have for me anyway. So then in that case is, you want people to pour into you because you're pouring into people, but you're not pouring into yourself. So that energy and that love and that attention and all that you're looking for other people, you need to be doing that for you. You need to be pouring into you before you pour into others. Certain things you could take a pause and do what you have to do for the people you need to do it for, but ultimately you should always find pockets of where you're going to pour into yourself before you pour into anybody else. The concept of prioritizing your needs unapologetically is something that I'm learning every day. I feel like I'm getting pretty good at it over time. And I'm still going to crash out sometimes. I'm still going to feel overwhelmed. And I'm still going to feel like, all right, like too many people need too much from me. Like this is too much. It's going to happen from time to time. But as long as I end with compassion for myself every day, knowing that I have a reason to crash out, because some people are still learning this version of me who's healing and setting boundaries, and just be compassionate with myself. Like, it's okay. They're upset about it, and I have a right to be upset too for how I'm being treated. It gets easier. Trust me, it gets easier over time. And reminding yourself, like I said earlier, all the things that you got going on, and sitting with yourself, sitting with your emotions, sitting with how you feel, and knowing what it is that I need to pour into myself. I say this constantly. You cannot show up for people at your best if you're not at your best. You have to be energized enough. You have to have enough charge in you to even be there for people. And the reason why having so many people lean on you every day is becoming overwhelming is because you're burnt out. You have to recharge and you have to put your needs first and not expect other people to put your needs before them. For a lot of us, the hard thing about being able to set these boundaries and to be able to prioritize ourselves over the needs of people who lean on us constantly is guilt. Guilt is normal. You're going to feel guilty because if you are somebody who's always pouring into people, most likely you're pouring into people who have taught you that your worth is attached to how much you pour and how thin you spread yourself. So now you're showing up in a different way to the people who've expected that of you or have tied your worth to that. And you're going to feel guilty. You're going to feel bad that you can't show up the way you used to. But the way I see it, this is like a concept that I've been teaching my 8-year-old. I feel like when you do good for people, you do good because you want to do good. You don't do good for people to prove your worth. And you don't do good for people to convince them that they need to be in your life or that you need to be in theirs. You do good for people because it's in your heart. You are a good person. I tell my daughter this all the time. Like, she started school and there was a girl who was being mean to her. And then she told me, like, oh, I'm going to bring her, I think it was candy or cookies. I'm like, absolutely not. You're not going to go give this person treats because they're being mean to you so they could stop being mean to you. If it serves you to be nice to this girl, keep being nice to her. She's not gonna reciprocate that, then create space between you and that person. And then if the person comes around and decides, oh, okay, I guess you're not so bad after all, if it serves you and it makes you feel good in your heart to be a good person because that's who you are, do that. But if you also don't really want to have nothing to do with that person, or you need to create space, you have to be okay with that. And that's the same concept with guilt. Guilt diminishes when you know that you're doing good because you want to and because you can. And the times that you cannot, and to be honest, the times that you don't want to, you have to learn and tell yourself to be okay with that. Because at the end of the day, it's all about you leading with compassion, all about you leading this with grace. I talk about this in the episode about healing and starting over in your journey, is that when you start to set boundaries and when you start to prioritize yourself, there's an energy that exudes in you, and the people around you may or may not be able to accept that energy. And it's okay. Once you start prioritizing yourself, the people who care about you and love you will be fine with that. And they'll be there waiting when you're ready. Or they'll go find somebody else to figure it out. But at the end of the day, everything about setting boundaries, in my humble opinion, is through energy. If you give the energy that I care about myself and I love about myself, and I love you too, but I got to take care of this over here first, the people around you, they have no choice but to accept it. They may like it, they may not. That's their bread and butter. At the end of the day, they have no choice but to accept it because you are enforcing it, because that enforcing comes with you being graceful with yourself and reminding yourself at the end of the day, it's okay. Ultimately, every part of my healing journey thus far has taught me that all of this, the setting boundaries, prioritizing yourself, and self-care and all that stuff, all has to do, first step, sit with yourself. Really feel what it is you're feeling. Understand what emotions you're experiencing. Understand what it is you need and give that to yourself. And you have to honor what it is you feel. That's part of that's okay. You have to honor it. It's okay to feel this way. Honoring it does come with a mindset shift. It does come with you doing things a little differently and doing things that the people around you are not used to. But as long as you continue to do with compassion and grace, you're going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. And over time, those small steps that you make, months down the line, you're going to see a significant difference in yourself. One thing about me is when that instance happened to me almost 2 years ago, with me being sick with the kids and all that, and once I made that decision at that time, I have noticed a significant shift. Like, you're gonna have to really test my temperature a little bit to know if I could show up for you. And that's all I really needed. People to just really see me and then move accordingly. If you're someone who struggles with being like the sole caretaker or the person that everybody leans on, I really hope that this message helps you in your journey. If so, make sure that you leave a comment so we can discuss. Thank you so much for spending a moment with me today. If this message did resonate with you, make sure that you share it with someone that you love, and make sure that you're subscribing on all platforms to stay up to date with Moments with Muddy. Until next time, be gentle with yourself.